Off the board, all of you. All right, kids, are you ready for the final part of Campaign 18's Boss 1? Oh, it is time for the absolute hardest part of the fight. I do have all the toggles off. Proper. Good. Oh, shit. I went flying off. Let me fix that. There we go. Much better. Oh, jeez. Don't get stuck. This is not a fight you want to get stuck on. This is my first time attempting this. I feel like it's only clever. For all the other fights, I gave them an honest attempt first before I actually recorded. Here, I'm going to go in totally blind. This is my absolute first time ever doing the fight. And this is going to be fucking hard. So, we have gone through Jaden's part of the fight, which was very reactionary. You had to react to the attacks that were coming your way and act accordingly. Ethan's part of the fight was a lot of meme shit, which often led to some slightly more unfair circumstances as opposed to Jaden, but not too bad. Pretty alright overall. Zuper's circumstances was like a good mix of both, where on the purple segments you have a lot of reaction time, and on the blue segments you have a lot of dick moves. But here, this is just one big dick move. It's absolutely meant to be as hard as possible. The thing with my fight is that I have to be able to make it difficult, despite the fact that I created it. Now, with the other three, I am, by nature, pretty good at the fights. Not great, because I'm not very good at Undertale, but I'm by nature good at them because I created them. I know where to hide. I know where the crevices are. I checked the attacks to make sure all of them were dodgeable, so of course I'm going to know how to dodge them. Here, it's no different. Only problem, there are so many attacks that honestly, reacting in time and avoiding them all is going to be a trick in and of itself. Let's just go. Off the board, all of you. Well, guess we better do what he says. I love this theme. Let's go, kids! Oh, shit! Oh, shit! Ah! Stop! Ah! Nope. Fuck! 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 Nope. Stay or spin. Hide to the right. Not the dongo bongos. Ah! Stop. 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 Fuck. This is so hard. Ah! Stop. And nice break. What?
What, Mom? Want to say to the meter guy?
What?
Do you know anything about the meter?
Yeah.
What?
What? Best part.
Tell me.
What do you mean, do I know anything about the meter?
The guy's out here looking at the meter.
Yeah?
Do I gotta tell him anything?
No.
Alright.
It's his job.
What?
That's his job.
If your mom said something about the meter, what was it?
Nothing. She said he's coming to check the sprinklers.
Oh.
God damn it, Pop. You're ruining my still animation. Anyway, back to dodging like a frenzy. Can we not, though? Ah! Stop! Fuck! Ah! Jesus fucking Christ! Whoa! Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Click. Fuck. Shit. No. No. Bad touch. Bad touch. Bad. Bad touch! Oh, Jesus Christ. Good fucking luck! Nope, nope, nope. So much nope. No, I can do this. Jesus Christ, Jesus Christ! Alright, at least we're done. How'd I do? How many times did I get hit? Pause the video and find out. Jesus Christ. Well, guys, that is the end of that. And as you can see, the rest of this is just parts of the boss talking to you. Haven't edited that yet. That's going to be the last bit I edit. All together when I create the final byproduct of this nonsense, and we are golden. So hey, there's quite a lot to discuss, isn't there? Let's just watch him go soaring off to the heavens. Yep, there he goes. All right, let's go over everything. So the very first thing is off the board, all of you. I mean, just get off the board, all of you, except for me. But I'm going to be coming on the board. I at least know to get on the board. Freezes, and ding. Nice old Myra text takes over everyone else's character, and then it's just that nice little pause before water comes flooding in. The water means absolutely nothing, by the way. It's purely an aesthetic, and because it's playing the music from the Elite Four for Gen 3. This is actually a remix. It involves the anime Elite Four, the original Elite Four, and it just sort of mashes them together. I forget who exactly made it. I'm going to link it, or not link it, but I'm going to say it in the bottom corner here. It's going to get cock-blocked. I'm going to make sure the opacity is pretty low so the attacks can still be seen through it. Then it all begins. Instant fireballs, Breloom coming out of nowhere. Like, where do I even begin? It's a compilation of everyone else's attacks, just sort of meld into one. If you stick near bottom here, you won't get hurt. The fireballs will actually dodge you for quite a while. The combo comes flying in, you're supposed to stick to the bottom, then dodge a little bit to the right. Laser beam comes in, you dodge up. And if you actually dodge right here, you avoid pretty much everything that's coming your way. Except for that little fireball, you have to dodge to the right there. And then you continue. The reaction time required to do this is a lot more than what I have right now, because running on no sleep, also first time attempting this. I'm sure with multiple attempts, I could get pretty damn good at this, but at the same time, maybe not. Yoshi eggs come in for a lot more challenge than they were initially. When the Yoshi eggs are with a multitude of other attacks, they are a lot harder. You get the nice little load bar. Sayonara comes spinning in. This attack, you just have to know what to do. You have to dodge to the far right corner. If you do, which I did, this is actually one of the attacks I dodged pretty well. Konosuba comes in and does her There's the Dango Bongo, which is my load screen. You can barely fucking tell, right? And then the Dango Bongo initiates. So the Dango Bongo is Nagisa saying the Dango Dango theme, and there's a little bit of a sound effect. That's what's his name? Okazuki Tomoya saying when he hears her doing the Dango theme. This particular rendition of Nagisa saying the Dango theme is not complete. She says it for about 5 to 7 seconds before they both get interrupted by Aiko. All I really needed was the 2 lines for the Dango theme. Then a nice little slam sound effect. That sound effect is actually me slamming my hand against the table like that, except slowed down to create sort of an echo. This part is very hard. It actually speeds up here because I wanted to time the bongo dango properly when it explodes with the pop segment, which I'm going to get to in a minute, but basically there's a small segment here which I sped up. It's awkward, but not too bad. Then this part, which is just abuse. The attack. I love it. Then comes in the self-destruct button. One of the best Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Also, highly banned. If you don't know what that card does, essentially, if your opponent has 7,000 more life than you do, and if you don't know, Yu-Gi-Oh is played on an 8,000 life point total system. So basically, if you're about to lose and your opponent has 7,000 more life total than you, you can hit the self-destruct button, which makes the game immediately end and result in a tie. It's basically a cheapo card way of resetting the duel if you're getting your shit pushed in. So it's a highly banned card because it's not fun for play. People would run this all the time. They're having a bad set of hands. They just play self-destruct button and reset the match. Because you got to factor in that the game's played on sets and matches, where it's like 3 matches to a set, best 2 out of 3. So people would just keep slapping self-destruct button on and keep resetting their matches so they could get a pretty good set. It's a pretty bullshit card, highly banned. In this case, it creates a self-destruct button, which, as you can see, dungle, nice Windows clicking sound effect, and kaboom. You basically have to be over here in order to dodge the explosion, but the explosion isn't really that important to dodge. Let's talk about my favorite part of the fight. Ross. All right. So, if you don't know what this was, which how could you? This is one of the most meta shit. It's so fucking meta, but I love it. So what's happening here is put yourself in my shoes and go back about 3 weeks, I want to say, back to a time in which Ross was a humble beginner in editing the phases of this U-Realms fight. Well, it was during the day, during one of my days off, and I was spending the day editing the fight. I was setting up a lot of the things, a lot of the ideas were just sort of molding together. Not everything was completely meshed yet, but ideas were there. And one of those ideas was to create a water section. Now, what I had to do in order to create that water section was use OE Cake to have the water flowing in effect. Let's go back to the very beginning when we had the water flowing in. You see that speed and that fluidity of the water? That's not a thing. In OE Cake, the water pours incredibly slowly. And I basically had to sit there for about 10 minutes while the water flowed in. I've sped that up like 1,600 times about. So I had to sit there for about 10 minutes while the water flowed in, which meant I had to sit there with the recording on, and I had to add in my own sound effect for the water flowing, even though OE Cake doesn't use the sound effect, and my voice would be in the background. However, during this glorious 10 minutes of just waiting for the water to flow in, my grandfather comes downstairs, or at least to the top of the stairs of the basement, to interrupt me about something. Now, let's listen to what he came to interrupt me about, so I can explain it. Ross?
What Mom say to the meter guy?
What did Mom say to the meter guy? The meter guy is someone who had come to check on our sprinklers. Now, if you don't know, the way I'm positioned in the basement, there's a window directly above me. And just outside that window, from the basement, a little bit to the left is our sprinkler system. It connects to our lawn, and it auto turns on sprinklers so we can water our AstroTurf. Basically, this guy was here to perform spring checks on the sprinkler system, make sure it was all good, check the water, etc., and making sure it is ready for the water to come out and water our grass. Pop, being the worrywart that he is, my grandfather, comes downstairs to tell me that he thinks that we have something to say to the meter guy. The meter guy, again, being the sprinkler man. And I'm just like, just listen to this conversation and just try and figure out what we're talking about here. That's loud.
Ross.
What?
What Mom want to say to the meter guy?
What?
What?
I'm just like, wait, what? Meter guy. Then I'm like, oh, the sprinkler guy.
Do you know anything about the meter?
Like, he asks the question, do you know anything about the meter? I'm like, yes, I know about the sprinkler system. I'm like, yeah, I do. What? And he says, what? I'm like, wait, what? I thought you were asking, what do I have to tell him? I'm like, what?
What?
It's perfectly timed with dog's head just popping out of the ground. Like, what?
Come here and tell me.
Come here and tell me. It's just like, to tell you what?
What do you mean? Do I know anything about the meter?
I walk over. What do you mean? Do you know anything about the meter? Because I'm still trying to figure out what exactly he wants from me in this scenario.
The guy's out here looking at the meter.
I'm like, yeah.
Do I gotta tell him anything?
Like, no. No, Pop, we don't have to tell him anything. It's his job.
No.
Alright.
His job.
What? He mishears me and I'm like, it's his job. And he's like, what? I'm like, it's his job to look at the sprinkler.
Did your mom said something about the meter? What?
Yeah, Mom said something about the meter. She said, yeah, a guy's coming out to check the sprinklers. That's all she said. Pop's over here wondering, like, what's he doing on the side of the house?
What was it?
Nothing.
Nothing. We don't have to do anything. Guy came to check on our sprinklers. He might come knock on the door and be like, all right, here's the bill. But that's about it.
He says he's coming to check the sprinklers.
Oh.
Oh. Shuts the door. It's complimented by my Pop clearing his throat in the background if you listen hard. All this recorded purely by chance, purely by freak accident, by wonders of God. During the recording of the water flowing, I just knew that I had to include this part of the fight. It was just too phenomenal. So all the while we're waiting for water to flow in, it finishing flowing in and just letting it bob. That entire section was interrupted by my grandfather talking about the sprinkler man, and that got included into the final product of the fight. And I comment on this fact. I'm like, God damn it, Pop, you're ruining my still animation. Now you may be saying still animation, but it's not still. It's constantly in motion. No, it was still animation. When I was editing this part, it was completely still. The water was barely bobbing. Look at this part again when the water's like flowing. Like it's actively flowing. It's pretty still, but for the most part, it's actively flowing. No, imagine that, but like how much less speed? Honestly, a shitload less. About like 1600 less speed, like 1600%. It was very boring. I basically sat there on my phone, which I had my headphones in, luckily, because if I didn't, it probably would have been playing whatever sound effect that was, and that might have interrupted Pop. But no, nothing interrupted Pop as he came downstairs to interrupt me, and it was glorious. You know, this is also probably the time where I should comment on the fact that I use different different editing software for this part of the fight in particular. I had been using Camtasia 8 for all three of both Zuper's, Ethan's, and Jaden's sections of the fight. I said those in reverse order. Ethan's went first, then Jaden, then Zuper. Even though the actual order in canon is Jaden, Ethan, Zuper. So I basically just did a nice 3x3 order. You know, fuck it. But you get what I'm saying. Basically, all three were edited in Camtasia 8. Filled to the brim with crashes. Then I get to this part, and I'm at a bit of a dilemma. This part of the fight has to be loaded with pretty much a compilation of all the other attacks shoved into one, made exceptionally more difficult and unfair. Do I have enough rendering power in order to handle that? Well, let me tell you right now, Camtasia 8 does not have the rendering power to handle all that shit. It would have crashed so fucking much. So what I did was I took a risk and actually edited for one of the first times, like a full actual video edit in Camtasia 9.
And I'm wishing I had done that to begin with because it crashed, count 'em, once. One time. It crashed once. It crashed like 8 times trying to render Zuper's part. In like fourths. I had to render it in like halves and then fourths. It was just such a ball ache. And that's Zuper's part. His had like the least amount of projectiles. I don't know. Let me tell you, Camtasia 9 is pretty phenomenal. It actually allows for a couple different effects which are really cool as well. Namely, animations and behaviors. So, as you can see, all the characters come and just observe. Yoshi comes sliding in. Umaru is my absolute favorite. As you saw when I was doing the part of the fight. Watch.
You know anything about the meter?
Just
slides in.
What? It's like that meme where sunglasses slide from the top of the screen onto someone's face. But in this case, it's just Umaru sliding carefully into the screen with her crazy-ass eyes, her bottle of Coke, and just sort of staring. Berloom's over there hopping. Konosuba Girl is over there hopping as well, like half off the screen. Dog is also really funny. Mostly because Dog, I portray him as like socially awkward.
What?
He just sort of like, what? It's still funny. I'm laughing at my own jokes. Classic Ross.
Come here and tell me.
You can see the other Umaru just sort of poking her face.
Guys out here
Sayori spin comes in. I dodged it just for the lulz. This part actually doesn't matter, but you can.
tell them anything?
Throws it. Goes soaring into the heavens. This one sort of slides to the right. Yoshi goes sliding to the right as well. I believe Konosuba leaves next. Yep, drops. Then it's Umaru. She goes flying off into the distance. It's barely noticeable. Yep, there she goes. Then you have Berloom just fades out of existence.
Oh,
And then Dog is just sort of left right there. And he just drops off. Then it goes to hello with just the screen, but lowered. Hello again. There, and that's
Ruining my still animation.
and the fight resumes. Pretty cool, right?
Anyway, back to dodging like a frenzy.
This part is bullshit. The fucking Umaru's dodging at you. Then this part, where you're supposed to basically dodge into the corner about right there or there-ish, and you'll be able to dodge everything. Beats come stomping in. You gotta, like, slide yourself over here. Then these attacks come in. You're supposed to dodge to the middle. This part is actually pretty cool. I like how there's a lot of egg bombs over here, which sort of forces you towards the middle. And then you have to go towards the direct middle so you don't get stomped on. You're noticing that a lot of the things aren't choreographed, and that was part of the challenge of this. I made the challenge memorization as opposed to choreographing it. Makes it more unfair, but it also makes it more fair than the other sections because I am supposed to know my own attacks. Or at least that's the idea. Then comes the fireballs from the side of the screen. This attack I really do like still. It's hard, but fair. Then we get to like the actual hardest part of the whole fight. Dodging this attack is fucking hard. I'm going to show you how, but you're not going to like it. So everything comes jumping in. Your first obvious sign here is that you got a laser beam coming from there and Umaru coming from there. You have to dodge up. And you have to dodge right about there. And if you sit right about here, you will dodge everything. It doesn't look like it, but just watch my tile. It's really awkward. Watch. See? Perfectly fine. This next one's actually easier. You have to dodge all the way to the right here, and you should be able to dodge everything, I think. Yeah, no, it's actually a little bit up more. It's like right about there. And if you dodge there, then you dodge everything. Except for the egg bomb, I think? No.
Okay, there's the first part of the fight. Alright, here's the second one. Yeah, see? Then the egg bomb, you dodge up. That's it. Then this one is just fucking hard. I don't know what to say. You have to dodge, like, right about there. So honestly, if you just stay towards the far right, you actually have a pretty good chance of dodging everything. Then comes this part, which is actually hilarious. I purposely left this in, that there's ways to easily dodge on the side, despite the fact that I don't want to do that. I would much prefer to dodge this attack from the middle, because it's more fun. Like, let's do it. Here we go. There you go. Just a nice little U-Realms attack for you. Then you stick towards the middle, and you basically don't get hit until those last two missiles, and you're all home free. There are two attacks here. It's a little bit hard to see them both, but I will try and demonstrate them. The first is a missile that comes flying in. The second is a torpedo that drops from the sky. The missile flies in a pattern sort of like a shuttle loop, and it goes up and explodes. The torpedo just falls and explodes. If you sit right about here, then no explosions will hit you until the end, where you dodge to the far right. And you did it. That is the end of the fight. It's definitely possible to dodge everything. Not fair at all, but it's possible at least. There are some attacks which look a little bit iffy, like this fireball wall part here. It had to squeeze it a little bit. So let's see if this one attack is actually dodgeable. This is one I wanted to see. This one right here, you could argue that that's dodging it, but not really. Like, yeah, you still get hit. Here, you still get hit. I'm going to say that that one's just like, I basically dodged it. Then you dodge down there, and you're good. You know, can you just sit over here and you won't get hit by any of the fireballs? That'd be hilarious if that was the case. That would be a really funny oversight. You dodge a good bit of them. I'll give you that. No, you would have gotten hit by that one. If you're like on the tablet itself, you're getting hit by some of them. Combo. I think you could also reasonably dodge about here and you still wouldn't get hit by anything either. Yeah, actually. You'd be pretty safe. I mean, yeah, you get hit by Berloom, but I don't think Berloom counts. So, I mean, yeah, he doesn't count because of Jaden's part. But there you go. That is the official end of my go-through of each and every last one of our attack patterns. In conclusion, I would say that in terms of favorites, it still goes Ethan as my favorite, followed by mine, followed by Jaden's, and then Zuper's. I like all four phases. I just feel like Ethan's is the strongest. It has the most amount of laughs, in my opinion. Though there are funny parts in all of them. I'm very happy with how it overall turned out. A lot of work poured into this. It's sloppy, but it's a good proof of concept. I feel like this is a possible thing to do in the future if we decide that we want to have a little bit more of an interesting boss fight. I think the tablet can work pretty well for that. But on that note, we are going to call it a nice break here. I am going to go complete my finishing touches on the campaign. And we're going to see if Ross can't possibly get it done by tomorrow night. Today is Thursday, although actually technically it's Friday. It's 1 in the morning. I got some work cut out for me. See you guys for what happens next. Have a good one.